Let me start recording first. Okay, so it's at 3:30 on time. So I want to start today meeting. Okay. Hello, Marie. Okay. All right. So today's topic is what? Innovation, right? Innovation, technology, R&D, something like that. Okay. So in the last time, we talked about two topics: international business and entrepreneurial activities. Why we talked about these two topics? Because, think about these two phenomena, two strategy, and reduce cost, increase product differentiations at the same time. Usually your cost and product differentiation are core moves. Okay, core moves. If you reduce cost, product differentiation should reduce. But international business, entrepreneurial activities can reduce cost, increase product differentiation, and maximize this gap value. Then you have what? Competitive advantage. Okay, that's why we talked about these two topics. And there's one more topic: innovation, technology. Okay, reduce cost, increase product differentiation at the same time. That's why people are crazy about this topic. Okay, so chapter 12, our last chapter in the textbook session, is innovation and technology, something like that. Okay, all right, so let's talk about it. All right, so before we move, I want to make sure everyone has a good connection, your audio, your video, whatever. If you're ready, okay, have a today meeting, please say yes. All right, thank you, David. Thank you, everyone. Okay, great. Let's talk about it. Innovation. Okay, some announcements. The teamwork is very, very important. This is the last chapter, chapter 12. Then we're gonna focus on simulation. Simulation is your teamwork. Okay, so to facilitate your teamwork, we can have peer evaluations from time sometimes, but it's not mandatory. Okay, and also during the simulations, we want to meet every time in this video conference. Okay, it's a touch base. Okay, then after meeting in this video conference, probably you can have independent meetings. Okay, because our setting is allowed. Okay, so again, we are gonna meet every time in this conference. Okay, for your simulations every time. Okay, all right. Schedule. Chapter 12, innovation strategy. We talking about this. Okay? Then the next time, Wednesday, is exam 3. Right? So you are already familiar with my exam format, so I'm not worried about it. Okay. This time again, we're gonna cover 3 chapters. Okay? And the difficulty is about between easy and medium. Okay. The multiple choice questions. Okay. And what? Oh, the best strategy to prepare the test is, you know that, right? Read the textbook, okay, very carefully, slowly, okay, probably twice, then will be enough. Okay? All right, then we gonna do presentation 3 and round 1, regular competition round 1. So presentation 3 is all about your practice rounds. So you've done 2 practice rounds, and what you did, how was your performance was. That will be your presentation, all right? Very casual conversations, okay? Very casual, presentations. Then we will do regular competition round 1, okay? So regular competition round 1 we start 2 p.m. So before 2 p.m., if you need any information about your practice round, please get it, because at 2 p.m., everything will be reset. Okay, it's a 0 base. Okay, so any question, comment? Any question, comment about our schedule? Okay, so let's move. Then your warmer case. Look at this. It's fantastic, isn't it? Average is 7.63 out of 8. And standard deviation is less than 1. Look at this distribution. I love it. I love it. Okay? I love it. So, you are doing great. You did a great job. Okay? So, keep up the good work. Based on your numbers, something like a warmer case, your test scores, and also based on your discussions, question and answers, okay? You are doing great. Okay, I love this performance, your performance. Okay, so keep up the good work. Okay, so your simulation will be the last hurdle. Okay, you have to overcome. All right, let's start with the warmer case. Okay, so please go ahead on Canvas. Under the keys, you can find what? Chapter 12 warmer keys. Chapter 12 warmer keys. I'm gonna give you 10 minutes. So 10 minutes is due is what? 3 for 7. Okay. Okay, please go ahead on Canvas. Take chapter 12 warm keys. Chapter 12 warm keys. Right, 10 minutes. When you're done, please type done and let me know. Then we can save our time. Okay. right, you guys are so fast. So many students are done. All right, let me know if you need any more time. Anyone needs more time, please let me know. Okay, great. You're so fast. So let's talk about the innovation management. Okay. So this chapter, innovation management, think about the innovations. By the nature, okay, of the topic, it's broad, okay, and it has a lot of topics. But in this class, okay, the undergraduate level, so we are going to talk about, some types of innovation to have a better sense about the innovations. Okay? Types of innovations and some simple strategies to foster corporate innovations. Okay? So types of innovations, strategies to foster innovations. That's it. Okay? That's pretty much about chapter 12, innovation management in this level. Okay? So let's talk about that. The first one. Process innovations are often associated with a low-cost leadership strategy. True or false? What is a process innovations? Anybody? Process innovations, what is it? Process innovations. What is it? Okay, Taylor is typing something. So you can turn on your microphone and you can talk. Efforts to improve the efficiency. All right, great, Taylor. Thank you so much. Okay. Efforts to improve the efficiency of organizational process. Efficiency means what? Efficiency is output divided by input. All right. Increase output, decrease input. Then you have better efficiency. All right. Okay. So efficiency means in the business process, you reduce cost. It's cost-related concept. Okay, so process innovations are often associated with a low-cost leadership strategy. Yes, it's true. It's true. Okay, so what is the other things of the product innovations? Product innovations, right? So process innovations versus product innovations. Process innovations, cost leadership strategy. Product innovations, what? Differentiation strategy. Better product. Okay. So number two, product innovations are commonly associated with the differentiation strategy. Yes, it's true. So process innovations, cost leadership. Product innovations, differentiation strategy. Okay. Number three. Thank you, Taylor. Good. Disruptive innovations are those that overturn markets. Okay. Yes. Disruptive innovations. What is the opposite of disruptive innovations? So opposite or whatever, anyway, comparable, types. Sustaining. Okay. Sustaining innovations versus disruptive innovations. So disruptive innovations are those that overturn markets by providing an altogether new approach. I love it. New approach to meeting customers' needs. Yes. This is a disruptive innovations. A new approach. That means it changes the existing market a lot. They provide a new way to fulfill the customer's needs. This is a disruptive innovation. Sustaining innovations. Okay, it doesn't totally change the market. Okay, just a little bit, okay, change the market. It's a sustaining innovation. So market, the current market still keep its pace. Okay, so sustaining versus disruptive innovations. Okay, and it is very similar and incremental and versus radical innovations. Radical innovations, number 4, often involve open-ended experimentation, yes, which can be very time-consuming. Yes, very true. So radical innovation is very similar with disruptive innovations. Okay, and incremental versus radical. So these are some types of innovations. Okay, all right. Number 5, strategic renewal and pursuit of new venture opportunities are the 2 primary aims of corporate entrepreneurship. Yes. Okay. We talked about this in the entrepreneurial activities in the previous chapters. Okay. All right. Strategic renewal and new venture opportunities. Corporate entrepreneurship. Corporate entrepreneurial activities. Okay. Number 6, business incubators. We know this, right? Because we have it. Business incubators. Hackberry. Okay. Hackberry. And very enterprises. These are very good examples of business incubators. So business incubators are designed to support fledgling entrepreneurial ventures until they can operate as a standalone business. Yes, this is a concept of business incubators. We see it, very enterprises. Okay. Number 7, corporate ventures. They use real options logic. We talked about that, real options a lot. In decision making, tend to keep total investment low in order to minimize the downside risk of a project. Yes. Why we care about real options? Because we have a chance to reduce the risk, the downside of the project. By what? Multiple stage decision making. In the first stage, you can make total investment, very small investment. Then you can study, you can research. Okay? You are familiar with this, okay? Business investment opportunities. Then if you are ready to make a, the better investment, okay, then you can have the bigger investment in the project. This is a real option. We know this. We talked about a lot. Okay. All right. Any question, comment? So we have types of innovations and some strategies to foster, okay, corporate innovations. Okay. Any question, comment? All right. If you don't, let's move. So, types of innovation, okay, innovation process. We already talked about this. Some strategy, real option analysis. We know this, and entrepreneur orientation. Why we talk about entrepreneur orientation? Because innovations are coming from entrepreneurs a lot. So that's why we talked about entrepreneur orientation in this chapter. Okay. All right, where we are in the very last chapter, chapter 12, innovation management. Okay. So today's class activity is your chapter case. Very good case. Very good case. It's simple, straightforward, but it has a lot of implications. So, Google. Everyone knows Google. So, your team will share your perspective, your answers about these two questions. Okay, these 2 questions. So, I'm going to create breakout rooms. 6 rooms. Minutes. Okay, please join with your team and share your answers. Then we are going to briefly talk about your answers as a whole group. Then we talk about some other topics. So, yeah, please go ahead.
You are currently the only person in this conference.
All right, welcome back. Okay, welcome back. All right, how was your meeting? All right, great. Natalia, thank you. Oh, okay. So your team meetings, you shared your perspectives, your answers. So let's go straight. So Google, everyone knows it. Okay, everyone knows it. It's an internet company. It's an IT company. Okay, everyone knows it. It's a leading company. Okay, this company has a lot of knowledge about what online market. Then they tried to get into the radio market too, but it didn't work very well. Okay. So the first question, why didn't the lessons Google learned it in the online market apply to the radio market? Any team, what you discussed, please tell us. The first question, why not in the radio market? Yeah, anyone, you can just turn on your microphone and then you can say something. Okay. Kelly?
Our group said that they didn't really have any experience with the radio market, and they just kind of assumed that they would know what to do, even though they didn't. So that's why they weren't successful.
Okay, so experience, knowledge about the market. So in your Kelly's perspective, okay, in your team perspective, okay, experience would be the core competencies in the online market for Google. Okay, then Shred. Thank you, Kelly. And Shred, any comment? So any other point, anyone? Probably Shred. Shred has a problem with his microphone. Okay, any other point?
I thought it was interesting when it talked about how Google wasn't doing well in the radio market because, like the radio advertising, because they weren't able to track how well they were doing for a while, because it's not like on the internet you can track everybody's clicks or like see what's working and what's not. They didn't really have any way to like have feedback or check what they were doing. So that was one of the reasons why they failed.
Okay. So McKenna's point is, it's straightforward, right? Google has a good knowledge in the online market. Okay. They know what a click is, what is related to their market performance. But radio market is different. No click, right? No click. Okay. So radio market has different set of core competencies. Okay. So Google get into a new market, and then they need to know what the change is, what the market is, okay? Then what the technology is, what the customers are. Okay? These are different from the existing market. So these are changing too. All right. So they have a moving target section. They have their resources, but the moving targets, these targets are not consistent with their resources. So it was a problem. So it is a simple theory of dynamic capability too. Dynamic capabilities. So when you have consistency between your resource and your market target, okay, the market is changing, but you have continuous consistency, then you have what? Competitive advantage. Okay? This is exactly the mechanism you should know with your simulations. Okay? That's why we practice your simulations. Okay? Dynamic capability. Great. Okay, now thank you. Any other comment? Okay, then the next question. Radio is increasingly moving to satellite and streaming systems. Is this a new opportunity for Google, or should it steer clear of radio altogether? How do you think about it? What you discuss, please tell us. Second question.
So we talked a little bit about Google and their value proposition to potential customers being that Google is one of the largest data analytics, I guess, gatherers in the world because like they can use customers or not customers, but their users' search history and criteria to kind of put together target markets for their advertisers that they can then sell this data and sell advertising space at a very efficient rate, which makes their value to online advertisers very high. In radio, while you can kind of delineate this based on what radio station someone's listening to, you can't really provide that same value proposition to the advertiser. So we said that Google should probably stay out of that market because they're A, not well versed in it, and B, it doesn't really fit in well with their core value proposition.
All right, that's a great point. Chad mentioned about Google. Google, many people say it's internet company, but Google actually is a data company too. Data company too. Okay. So the analysis of data, collection of data, Google is a leading company. All right. So those things are the core competencies of Google. So they can just keep it. Okay. They're leading. Okay. So, but they don't need to get into new market. That is a shares point. Okay. But if they need to develop any new business, they get into the new market, okay? They are not sure if they are really ready to get into it, okay? Then what are they gonna do? They can use real option approach, what we talked about, okay? For example, if they are interested in streaming systems, okay, then they don't know themselves. They don't know about market. Then what do? Very simple. They make just small tool investment, not big investment. Okay. So just buy a small company and the streaming systems, then they can test. They can test the market themselves. Okay. Then they're sure, they're sure, okay, about their potential in this streaming market, streaming system. They make big investments. Okay, this is a real option approach. Okay, so multiple stage decision makings, small toe investment, and rather big investments. They can use this. Then what? They can reduce the downside of this opportunity. Okay, the downside, the risk of this opportunity. Okay, so very good, very good. Very nice. Okay. So actually, it is a good point. Google is not just internet company, internet searching engine. Google is a data company. Okay. Because they have data, they do what? Other business in IT sector, something like artificial intelligence too. Artificial intelligence too, AI, because AI is based on data. Okay. Also, because they are talking about data, they do what? Encryption technology too, right? Blockchain technology too. So Google actually changes a lot the world. Okay, the world a lot. Okay. So when I think about this case, and I think about Google too, yeah, probably it is beneficial. I need to talk about some big trends in the IT sector for you. Okay. You are not expert of IT sector. You don't need to know everything about IT sector, but IT sector is changing the world. So as a strategist, as an investor, as a business leader, you should have a good sense about how IT sector is going. Okay. So I was thinking about this topic, but there's no class. Probably there's no class to talk about these big trends in the technology in IT sector, in other sector too. So I just take a few minutes to talk about IT sector. Okay. So I was thinking about what are big trends that I picked up. I picked up four big topics in the IT sector. Okay. So I can share this. Okay, now can you see it? Just let me know. You see it? Okay, Taylor, thank you. So everyone see it, right? So I was thinking about IT sector as a strategist, okay, as an investor. Then what technological trends should be presented here? So I picked up four topics. I am not sure how to zoom it, huh? But I'm gonna replicate. I'm gonna read it. So Natalia, if you have problem, just let me know. So four big topics. Okay, four big trends. Interestingly, these topics seems like a independently domain in some areas in the IT sector, but these topics are really, really closely interconnected. Without any one of these topics, other topics cannot exist. Okay, so the four topics. The first thing is Internet of Things. Internet of Things. Okay. And the second topic is big data. And third topic is blockchain technology. And the last one is artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence. Okay. So Internet of Things are basically what? Networking. So everything should be connected. Okay. Offline, online, whatever. Between offline, between online, whatever. So Internet of Things are all about network. All right, network. So based on this network, for example, we can have cloud service too. Okay, so everyone is connected. Every network is connected. So Internet of Things is all about networking and cloud service, something like that. Okay, because everything is interconnected. Right? What is important? The ownership of that information. Okay, ownership of information. Who has the information? Who has the value of the information? It is encryption technology. Encryption technology. The leading technology in the encryption field is a blockchain technology. Blockchain technology. Okay. So blockchain technology, to create blockchain technology, we need what? Cryptocurrency. Like a Bitcoins, Ethereums, whatever. Okay. So this is part of what? The ownership of information. Without this encryption technology, okay, we do not have any information about. Actually, we can have it, but it is risk to have the information about the ownership of the information. Okay. Then, if we have Internet of Things, networks, and encryption, we have data. Data. Okay. But data is a little different from the traditional ones because we talk about quarterly big data. Big data. Big data is characterized by 3 V's: volume, variety, and velocity. Volume, huge, terabytes, whatever. Okay, huge size of data. Variety, images, streaming, words, what, voice, whatever. Okay, so there are many types of data we can create, collect it, analyze. Okay, and velocity, right? Speed. Yeah, very fast. So it creates, these two things creates data. Okay, data. Okay, because we have big data, we can try AI, artificial intelligence. Okay, AI is basically about what? Learning. Okay, all the internet things, all the IT sectors are about what? Mechanism, algorithm, programming. Okay, but AI is different from these things because it runs. Okay? It studies by itself. From what? Data, not algorithms. Okay, so this big data, okay, make it possible to have artificial intelligence, okay, to learn by itself. Okay? Machine learning. Some people say it's a deep learning. Deep learning is what? It resembles the learning process in our brain. Okay, so just basically identify the pattern of data. It's a deep learning, artificial intelligence. So based on these 4 topics, every topics are interconnected each other. Okay. All right. So these are big trends in the IT sector. For example, metaverse, probably blockchain technology. Okay. And big data too. Okay. So Google, think about it. Google, what they're doing? Internet of Things, big data, blockchain technology, AI, they are doing everything. Okay, they are doing everything. That's why we say Google is not internet company. It's a technology company, IT company. Amazon, think about it. They are doing what? Internet of Things. They're doing big data things and blockchain technology and AI too. So Amazon is doing what? Everything. Okay. So that's why we say Amazon is IT technology company, not just online reseller. Okay. So if you have, a better sense about these technological trends and mapping these technological trends in the IT sector, okay, then you have better understanding about what the nature of company, nature of corporation, organizations. Okay? That's why I just present very briefly. Okay. So what I understand from the IT sectors. Okay. Probably not many people share this idea, okay? Because this is just so what I'm thinking about. Okay. But it makes sense a lot. Okay. So based on these big 4 topics, okay, you can understand almost everything about IT sectors. Okay. As a strategist, as an investor. Okay. Right. That's why I present this idea, okay, in this topic with a Google case. All right, there's a campus event tomorrow. Yes, I saw it. Crypto blockchain technology. Yeah, please go ahead and hear it. Okay, and try to understand what they are saying. Okay, because many people just talking about the price of bitcoins, but it's not just a fundamental thing. It's just superficial phenomenon. Okay, but there are big fundamental technological trends. Okay, in deep side. Okay, if you understand this, you can become a strategist. Okay, all right, great. Any question, comment? All right, so this kind of topic is better than the so we the topics we talk about with the textbook. So I just want to present this. All right, then. Any question, comment? Okay, just come back to the textbook. So innovation. Let me innovation, types of innovations. Okay, types of innovation. You can just read this and you can understand that. Product versus process innovation. Product innovation, create new product differentiation strategy. Process innovation, a business process, efficiency, cost leadership strategy. Okay. And radical and incremental innovation. Radical innovations, a major departure from existing practice. That means it changes the fundamentals of market, industry. It is radical innovations. Incremental innovations can enhance existing practice. So keep the current order of market, but better products. Okay. So radical innovation and incremental innovations are very similar with probably, yes, disruptive innovations and sustaining innovations. Disruptive innovations overturn markets with a new approach. Okay. And sustaining innovations extend sales in an existing market. Okay. So we talked about entrepreneurial activities with the big corporations. Big corporations do not like disruptive innovations or radical innovations because they have their own market. They don't want to change. Okay, we talked about that, right? So sustaining innovations, they like it. They like incremental innovations. Keep their market. Okay, again, then incremental innovations. That's the pattern they like. All right. By the nature of innovations, think about the innovations, very complicated topics. So there are many challenges to pursue innovations. The first thing, seeds versus weeds. Which project should we pursue? It's not easy topic. Okay. And experience versus initiative. Who should lead an innovation project? Okay. Freshie or experienced? Internal versus external. That means make it or buy. Okay. Internal or external. And also building capabilities versus collaborating. It's very similar with internal versus external too. Okay. Make or buy decisions. We talked about this. Okay. Incremental versus preemptive launch. Okay. It's not easy. So think about these challenges. There are many challenges. Okay. So it's not easy to coordinate these challenges. Okay. That's why innovation is not easy. Okay. And cultivating innovation skills, discovery skills, creative intelligence. Okay. Many IT sector companies, actually are try this, but it's not easy too. Why we care about this? Because innovations are coming from where? Yes, people. That's why creative intelligence are important. Okay. And the defining of the scope of innovations. Okay. Strategy envelope, you can just read this. Okay. Managing the pace of innovation. Incremental, radically talked about that. Time pacing allows for control of the innovation process. Okay? And stepping to capture value from innovations. You can just read this. Collaborating with innovation partners. The value of unsuccessful innovation. I want to emphasize this. Okay? The value of unsuccessful innovations. Okay? Sometimes unsuccessful innovations, seemingly unsuccessful innovations becomes a successful innovations. It happens a lot actually in innovation. So technology itself is successful, but people do not recognize the value of this technology. Then we can say this is unsuccessful innovations, but actually it is. Okay. For example, Post-it from 3M. Okay. So when developed this Post-it 3M, okay, they just thought it was unsuccessful. Oh, we cannot use this result, these inventions. Okay? Then just one person, think about that. We can use this technology to make something like a Post-it. Post-it. And remove it, remove, something like that. Then it becomes successful innovations. Okay? So even unsuccessful innovation efforts bear fruit. That means you have to manage unsuccessful innovations too. Okay? So seemingly successful innovations, but in the end, unsuccessful innovations. And the other way too. So you need to think about this possibility too. Okay. All right, then the types of innovations done and the nature of innovations and corporate entrepreneurship strategy. We are familiar with this. We already talked about this, corporate entrepreneurship, okay? Because we have good examples in the Berry. New venture groups, business incubators. What is that? Hackberry, okay? And enterprises, Berry enterprises. These are good examples of corporate entrepreneurship. Okay? So under the umbrella of Berry, okay, Berry provides some fundamentals for this business. When this business grow up, they become an independent business. Okay? This is new venture groups and business incubators. Okay. All right, and measuring is always problematic performance. Okay, problematic performance. Okay? That's why many people are interested in my studies. Okay, CBC papers. But anyway, we need to measure the performance. Okay, the last thing is the real options. So, by the nature of innovation, all the innovative projects are what? High risk. So people are trying to reduce this risk, then they are interested in real option approach. Okay. So simply speaking, real option approach again, okay, multiple stage decision makings. At the early stage, the first stage, you make a small investment to have better information about that investment opportunities. Okay, then you study, you collect information, okay? You have a better position to judge the benefit of this project, investment opportunities, risk, whatever. Then you make an official or bigger investment, okay? In the next stage. This is a real option analysis. So Google can use this too, okay? When they get into the radio market, because they were not sure their core competency is working in this radio market. They didn't know it. If they didn't know it, they would use real option approach. Why big investment at the first stage? They didn't need to. Okay, so they would make a small toy investment in the radio market just buy a very small radio broadcasting company, then they can test the market. They can test themselves. If they are sure this market is promising for them, they make a bigger investment. Okay? It takes a little more time, but it reduces the downside of that investment opportunities a lot. Okay, this is a real option analysis. Okay. All right, then entrepreneur orientation. Innovations are coming from people. What people? Entrepreneurs. So entrepreneurs usually have some characteristics like this: autonomy, innovativeness, proactiveness, competitive aggressiveness, risk-taking. I'm not sure which one is first, entrepreneurs and these characteristics, or the other way, these characteristics, people who have these characteristics becomes entrepreneur. I'm not sure. There's no, solid evidence about it. So, but there are, very good correlations. So when I met up with some entrepreneurs, I see these characteristics. Okay. All right, great. That's pretty much about chapter 12. So we talked about types of innovation, some strategy to foster corporate innovations. We talked about some technological trends in IT sector with a Google case. Okay. All right. Any question, comment? So how was your today meeting? Okay, great. So if you don't have any question, comment, I want to conclude today's meeting. Okay. So you did a great job. Good discussions. On Wednesday, we gonna have exam 3, right? Exam 3. Okay. So if you don't question, comment, I will see you on Wednesday. Great job. All right, thank you. Thank you, Chris, Ryan, Natalia, Ali. All right, great. Thank you so much. All right, thank you, Ali. Thank you. I will see you on Wednesday.